Okay. Broadcasting. Alrighty. Ladies, gentlemen, and smizmars, welcome back. I am Massy. With me, as always on Mondays, is Meph.
Hi.
And we are back with more Chaos 6010 AD. It's the gift that just keeps on giving. And
It's
I
doing something.
yeah, I want to mention for the record here, Comic Sans, it's a really ugly font. I really hate looking at it.
Oh, preach.
like, use a better font, guys. Like this isn't hard. Um,
But it's so lighthearted and fun.
mental effects have no spell on her, whatever that means. That's
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 wow.
that's not even like a slip of like conversation or something. That's just straight up like nonsense, lunacy.
I guess it's supposed to be an example of future slang.
Maybe. Anyway, we're on to classes in this book. Last time we looked at races, and I actually had a lot of good things to say about the design of a lot of the races. I really like them. I still do. Um, the classes, not so much. And I'm going to warn you guys ahead of time. Shockingly enough, the character balancing on the character classes is all fucking over the place. You'll have really powerful classes and really weak classes that are basically traps, and you'll be stuck with them for 13 levels. Um, yeah. So you get a 13 level class ability list. It doesn't tell you what these do, which is just makes it really fun because you gotta jump ahead and find them in the maze of a book that's 300 pages long. You gotta find these stupid abilities and figure out what they do, and then compare them to see if the classes are actually good or not. And it's just really fun. Really fun. I'm saying this through gritted teeth. It's not fun.
Um, that sounds like my idea of a good time.
Yeah, well, it would. Um, the we'll talk more about how class abilities work, and there's also a multi-class option that I don't think we've had mentioned before. So I'm not going to talk more about it. You can just sit back and wonder, like any reader of this book will, trying to figure out exactly how multi-classing is going to work in this. It works in the most obvious and stupid way possible. Um, then you get your primary attributes, which is just the ones that he says you should put your points into, not necessarily the ones that are mechanically the most advantageous, just the ones that he says, which basically comes down to like if you were to imagine like a typical person of this class, like which attributes would they have the highest, like in a abstract sense, not taking into account how the game actually works. By which I mean that they'll put intelligence as like a primary attribute for classes that don't need it, based on the fact that they're like supposed to be like smart, that sort of thing. So you'll.
So they opt more for flavor than they do for functionality.
Yes, thank you. You condensed what I was trying to say beautifully. Uh, yeah, the primary attributes are completely about the flavor of the class, not necessarily about the mechanics. Often they line up, but not always. The skills that you also get certain skill slots. A skill slot is good for one skill automatic at like rank whatever. Um, Equipment, whatever you get as a starting person of that class, it usually sucks. Cyberware, um, they will almost never have cyberware. I think there's like 2 classes that get it. And the ones that do only get really crappy minor cyberware. Importantly, it does say that you are not required to take it. That actually is a big deal because certain characters should not have cybernetics at all. It really fucks with them. So, if you don't want cyberware, you don't have to take it. You can just opt out. And if you have magic abilities, they'll list the magic. He calls character sheets character packets. I do not know why.
Oh God, that I hate that.
You know, and I could kind of see it if we were like, you know, you look at some of the like more complicated Dungeons and Dragons character sheets, and they're like 4 pages long, and it's like I can kind of see that, but then he gives a sample quote unquote character packet in this book, and it's 1 page long. Not even front and back, I don't think.
I have one follow-up question.
Sure.
Can I ping the DM with my character packets? I think it's okay if I can do that.
No, you cannot. They're not that kind of packets. They're not TCP/IP packets. They're fucking goddamn like a package of things packaged.
It's a character sheet. It's a character sheet. Like, you know, I get where he's going with this. He's like, it's not a sheet, it's several sheets. And, you know, wanting to fix those kinds of things. But it's like,
yeah,
we do want to encourage people to have a single sheet.
Yeah. And
if possible,
like
for the character related things, for the extra things, yes. And there's a reason why we have names for things. And
the character sheet in this book is actually really bad. Hold on one second. This is page 49. Where's the sample character sheet? Does it list it in there?
Not there.
Page 21.
Character packet.
Yeah, which I think is... There we go. This is the character packet.
Okay, I've seen worse.
Yeah, it's not completely terrible, except for this part right here. This part is awful. Like, with all the boxes just thrown willy-nilly.
I kind of know what I'm looking at, but it does look terrible.
Yeah, but, like, let's say...
There's a part for you to put down your library books.
Yeah, I just want to throw this out there. Like, okay, let's say your character is a mage, right? So, mages tend to have magic. That tends to be a very important part of the character, if you think about it. Where do you put it?
I guess.
Where do you put that?
In secondary skills, probably, because there's no other place for it.
Yeah, or under equipment, or write it on the back. And, he also breaks down armor and clothing down to include, like, chain. I don't even know what the chain is supposed to be. Like,
It's probably the necklace that carries your amulet.
Maybe? It doesn't make any sense to me. You get gauntlets, shoulder pads, greaves, belt.
Well, look, he's going in order. He is more or less going in order.
Right. The problem is that he's going in order. He's going in order for a completely different game, because this game does not have individual shoulder pads, chains, gauntlets. Well, it has gauntlets. It doesn't have greaves. It doesn't have special belts. Like, those aren't things in this game. It's got individualized spaces for all of those, but those don't exist in this game as, like, slots where you would need to know what equipment you're wearing. So, yeah.
Does he actually break down equipment somewhere?
Yes, he does. It's much later in the book. It's like one of the last sections.
Neat.
For right now, let's just go ahead and dive into the classes. The Assassin. I have little time. Let's talk about the money. Yes.
I'm
So,
Dark, the Blade.
yep. So these guys, and I love this incredibly shitty low res picture. Like, I mean, I do actually unironically like it. It's a cool picture, but also, like, holy hell, did you upscale that enough? Could you get a little more JPEG artificing in there? Like, come on, dude.
I think that they could probably have like sprinkled some sand on the paper before they, slid it through the scanner,
Yeah,
and that would have
maybe.
helped.
In fairness, his scans are generally very clean, like very crisp and stuff. I'll give him that. He scanned it well, but
I want to know why the stock on that gun is facing the wrong way.
I'm not. It's a little too blurry to make out exactly what's going on here because it looks like he's holding a double barrel in one hand, and then he has like a stock in the
Yeah,
other
that's what I
hand.
just said. And his stock is facing the wrong way.
Right, but they're separated. Like, shouldn't the barrel be attached to the stock? Isn't that generally how it works?
I mean, I guess there's supposed to be that line there connecting the top of the barrel to like where his shoulder is. That's supposed to be something, but like, yeah. I also want to know why he's got, I guess the rest of the rifle barrel just sort of hanging out where his junk is.
Yeah, that I think is a spear or something. I don't
Is
even
it?
know. Like, it, like I thought it was a spear at first, which like this is the kind of game where that could be. But now that I'm thinking about it, like that probably is supposed to be a silencer on a very long barrel. Maybe it's
I
like
also
collapsed.
really like his extremely long and quilted thigh.
Yeah, yeah. He is very cool though. It's like I'll give the guy props. Like it's a cool character design.
Yeah, like I wouldn't want to meet this guy in an alley, and not just because of his terrifyingly long thighs
Yeah,
and his ability to fire a weapon with no stop or any other part attached to it.
yeah. So he gets these advancement abilities, and you can see what I mean. Like invisibility. That sounds really good, doesn't it? It's not.
Yeah,
It invisibility is not very good. Um,
I want to know about weapon bond because this guy could use a little bit of that. Is that like the glue that you need to hold your firearms together?
it gives you like you can take like a specific weapon and form a like unique bond to it like it's
Like a tuning?
like you're really it's your favoriteest gun and you really know the ins and outs of that specific one like even other
Oh,
not even
like
other
a
ones.
tuning.
Yeah, so you get a bonus to like damage with it or attack with it or something. It's one of the few things that he gets that actually like makes him good as an assassin, which is a good segue here. Most of his skills are stealth related. Almost none of them actually involve doing additional damage. So like he's supposed to be an assassin. Like you usually associate those with, you know, like high damage at least initially in a combat. Like stealth is a good skill for them, but like he's worse at killing things than almost every other class. And that's a little ridiculous. Also, if you look down towards the lower or the higher level abilities, at 10th level he gets sniper, which is an ability that lets him automatically kill targets under like, you know, a blue moon on Tuesdays. But then he gets two additional skills after that, and his capstone, the highest level skill that you get as an assassin, the absolute peak of their skill is cutthroat, which is just sniper but applies only to bladed weapons. And hey, shoot, yeah, I apologize. This is a lot of reading, and it's going to continue to be, so bear with us.
So
But,
deal with it.
like, and check out his starting equipment. He gets a knife, a backpack, lock picks, and 1d6 times 100 credits, which you might be able to afford one shitty gun, like a pistol. Certainly not a rifle. He gets no guns automatically to start with. He gets, for cyberware, a chip port, which is basically just a slot where you can slide a like memory card in, like an SD card, and headwear memory, which basically you can store like up to one skill in, which is kind of cool, but not really worth it. That's all he gets is cyberware. So yeah, the assassin. He just kind of sucks. He's got no abilities that really stand out, and like the good ones that he does get, he gets at very high level. Like he's not really worth taking. Um, and look at this. His skills. He gets armed combat knife. Armed combat rifle is considered a secondary skill. Which the primary skills, if I remember correctly, start out higher. Is the difference.
Interesting.
I might be wrong on that though. There might be no difference for the armed combat skills. That knife and rifle +1 means that he gets a +1 to attack rolls with those weapons. And fighter +2, that's unarmed. Like he's a decent unarmed combatant, but like why would you ever get into a fist fight as an assassin? Like that's the worst place you could ever be.
Yeah, you want to just snipe them from very far away or pay somebody else to fist fight them. Like you don't want to be up next to the guy.
Yeah. And all of their abilities, like I said, are almost entirely stealth oriented. This guy sucks. And he sucks a lot worse when you compare him to the bounty hunter. Dead or alive, beach volleyball. Um, the
Wow.
the bounty hunter has an ability called capture. See, what capture does is it allows you to make an attack roll. It counts as like two attacks, but you get several. And if successful, you just outright capture the opponent. Like they are handcuffed and down and can't fight.
So you just sort of throw a Pokeball?
Basically,
Neat.
and it means that this guy can actually take out an opponent right at the start of a fight automatically if he lands on his capture attempt. Which he gets it at a lower level even than the assassin gets his ability to take people out. And he gets weapon bond and improved weapon, which are both skills that can improve his DPS. Melee Master and Weapon Master, I believe, allow him to reroll damage rolls or something like that. And Quick Dodge, you'll see this on a lot of characters as like their capstone or near their capstone. And it just means that when you're making a dodge roll, which we haven't talked about, you can get a bonus to it if you want to spend cool points on it. Cool points having the unfortunate initials of CP, as they're often referred to in this game.
That is really unfortunate
That
and
it,
a terrible oversight.
yeah, it's really really bad that you have to talk about like trading CP for advantages in game, like that you're gonna
That's
be on a watch list.
not cool.
Yeah, Also, here's exactly what I was talking about. Primary attributes: intelligence and perception. But this is a combat heavy class. While intelligence is not bad, he definitely should be focusing more on dexterity and body. Like, I mean, perception I could see, but like dexterity and body are both more important to him than intelligence for actually fighting and, you know, bringing down the stuff that he's tracking down. Otherwise, he's just a detective, which is actually a class. Well, they don't call it detective, but you'll see. Um, and he actually only gets like one class or one skill rather that applies to intelligence, and that's law, which is just a skill check to know if you know the law, which is stupid. We'll talk about
And
skills later too.
wow.
Yep, pretty stupid. A 45 Nexus, that's basically a Colt 1911. Um, the 5 clips of standard rounds. He always refers to it as clips. It's magazines. They're detachable magazines, not clips. Um, a weapon permit. This is important too because you're supposed to have a permit to carry weapons. Noticeably lacking. In fact, almost every class, in fact, it might even be every other class, if I remember, does not have a weapon permit. Which means you legally cannot carry your own weapons.
Uh, okay.
That's cool, huh?
Yeah, I definitely want to have to do fucking legal checks about my own weapons in game all the time.
Yup. Once again, a cool picture. Once again, artifacted all to hell. This time it looks like it's more JPEG compression than it is upsampling. But, you know, it's cool enough picture, I'll let it slide. I
I
like
like
Lizard Man.
his permanent forward scowl.
Yes. Well,
And
he's
also,
got some kind of
this
helmet
is
on, so I think the scowl is just kind of like drawn on with Sharpie.
this picture is the picture that's been ingrained in my head as the chaos picture. By the way, it's this one.
I could see that.
This
This
is
is a
the
really
one
cool
that
one
I
of
remember
those.
the most. Also, if you'll notice, the head next to his feet
Yeah, the
is
oh
that
geez, I
to
didn't
scale?
I thought you were talking about the skull at his belt. No, he actually does have a little human head down at the. And
He just
And
does that have a swastika on the forehead?
let's just
no,
assume
that's just badly drawn hair.
Okay.
I'm gonna assume.
let's
And
just assume that.
so the I'm wondering if that is to scale because if so, that's either a really small head or a really enormous foot.
Yeah, yeah, that really is. And I'm pretty sure that this guy is what did they call him? Like the Doomathoin or whatever, which are supposed to be about human size. So yeah, that's wildly out of scale. Um, all I'm gonna say about this class here is that it is incredibly, ridiculously, stereotypically racist. Um, and I just wanna highlight that, and I'm gonna also. Oh, I have to mention too that you get armed combat with a bow, a fucking bow.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the thing that people want.
yeah, this is this is unfortunate. Although he looks less like a Native American and more like he's going to see Kiss later, maybe Slayer. I don't know.
That's fair actually. This is something that I would see more of in like you know what it also reminds me of? If you took like the two biggest like stereotypically masculine 80s types of like fantasy paintings, which is Conan guy on a horse
Yep.
and barbarian guy in the mountains with a wolf just crossed them into one, this is what you would get.
Yeah, basically. Like it's really cringy, it's really terrible. The
I
actual
kind of love
abilities
it.
of the class are not bad. Like this is a perfectly viable class if you can get over the fact that it's incredibly racist. And also you have to get over the fact that it's a class built around exploration and wilderness survival in a game about fighting space mutants in cities. I mean, it's just it doesn't work.
Isn't that what you want? You don't want to fight space mutants in cities?
No, you obviously you want to go out into like the woods and hunt bears or whatever this guy is supposed to do. Also, there's an ability called scalps, and I know I already pointed that out,
Oh,
but I
good
just want to
God.
reiterate that there's an ability called scalps that let you take scalps from your enemies. Oh,
Uh,
ask me what
is
scalps.
there another ability that lets you have powwows or make a wigwam?
No, no, nothing like that. Ask me what
God.
scalps does.
It's so bad. That's so bad. I'm ashamed
Like seriously,
to
ask me
exist in the same universe as this.
No.
ask me what scalps does.
No.
Just just
Oh,
go.
God, what does scalps do?
It gives you permanent experience point bonuses that no other class can get.
Wow.
Obviously.
Of course, the most terrible aspect of this character that you definitely want to ignore the most gives you something that you couldn't possibly ignore.
Yup.
Neat.
Yup. So let's move past that because that's just unfortunate. Demon Hunter, burn the bodies of the fallen so they do not rise again. I'm pretty sure that those are fucking lyrics to can't think of his name. I ruined the joke. Can't think of the guy's name.
You ruined it. You've
Yep.
soiled it.
It's he does movies now.
Rob Zombie?
Rob Zombie, thank you. I'm pretty sure those are lyrics to a Rob Zombie song. Like this guy looks like a reject from a Rob Zombie concert or possibly a Hot Topic.
No, he would fit right in a Hot Topic.
I
Or
like
at a Rob Zombie concert, honestly.
I like the little like not even a quarter of a summoning circle we got in there.
He looks like a guy that would shoot you and then necromancer you back and shoot you again.
Yep. This is definitely the guy who's got like a edgy, dark backstory, and like you meet him in a bar and he's like sitting off by himself and doesn't talk to anybody and is being dark and brooding and mysterious, and then wonders why
Yes,
no one
professional
engages with him.
brooder.
Anyway, his abilities are not
Oh my, so
actually.
he's a pizza cutter.
Yes. Yes.
All edge, no
All
point.
edge, no point. He's a,
I
he's,
always forget that's a thing.
yep. Yep. He's a pizza cutter.
I love it.
So his abilities, they're not terrible. He gets a lot of bonus damage and stuff against demons, obviously. He's pretty much a one-trick pony, though. He really
I mean,
only
do
has.
we fight a lot of demons in space?
You can, surprisingly enough. The game has demons, and yeah, you could fight a shit ton of them if you wanted to. So it's surprisingly viable. And another one where his primary attributes are perception and willpower, but his entire focus of his class is about combat with demons. So you'd think that some combat-oriented attribute like dexterity would be in there somewhere.
Nah. He doesn't need to be dexterous.
Nope. Doesn't need to get out of the way of things. He gets an Automag 5, which is different from a regular Automag that we have today, silver bullets, and a silver knife. I'm pretty sure that silver does not actually do anything against demons in this game. Like, it doesn't do anything special to them.
Is he pretending to like hunt werewolves?
I think that's what he's doing. I think he's confusing demons with werewolves.
You might be confusing demons with like fae or something. It's weird.
Yeah. Anyway, there's not much to him. He's very one note and not very interesting unless you want your entire campaign to be about demon fighting. The mage, now you will witness my power. Okay, I'm gonna say this here and tell me if I'm wrong, but that class portrait for the mage, that is 3 midgets in a trench coat. Like,
Just
tell me I'm wrong here, but that's really obviously like 3 people with dwarves.
I think it's little people is the correct term, but I don't really know anymore. I just know it's definitely not that.
Okay, well I apologize.
I know you're doing your best here. There's a lot going on.
I'm trying not to use slurs here. But
yeah, I mean, what do you expect? You were raised in the 80s where slurs were everywhere and nobody seemed to care.
Yeah.
We're the MTV, we don't give a flying toot generation, which is, we were raised poorly because our parents didn't care.
But not as poorly as this mage.
You guys are doing better. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
But I am not. I just the more I look at him, the more I laugh because it's definitely 3 kobolds in a trench coat, and I don't know what's going on with that chin.
Yeah, I think that's like one of those Egyptian things that like the ancient Egyptians were all about.
Oh,
like
the beating in the beard.
Yeah, but like
It was. I forget what it's called. It has a name, but I'll look it up.
Anyway, all of his abilities are related to magic. Surprise, surprise. He gets very little in the way of actual combat skills, but he gets a shit ton of magic stuff. You get the spells Energy Sphere, which is red magic, which is attack. Detect Life, blue magic, which is divination. Heal Wounds, white magic, which is obviously healing, because we operate on Final Fantasy magic rules.
It's a metal false beard, also called a pastiche.
Okay. Alternately, you can be a specialized mage. Specialized mages gain a +3 to hit or cast with all spells listed under their color of magic, but a -1 to hit or cast a spell from a different color. That's a freaking amazing deal, and you should always take it, because if you choose which color to specialize in correctly, you can end up with like basically no weaknesses, because the different colors of magic are not balanced whatsoever. But we'll talk about that later, when we talk about magic. The important thing is this guy's, I mean, he's a wizard. Like, he does wizard stuff. He's exactly as like overpowered as you think he is. Mech Runner, need a ride? So
awkward.
Like, this is one of the lesser class portraits too. Like, I mean, I don't know what's going on with the boots down here, and this arm just kind of looks half-assed. Like, this one you can.
It looks a little rushed, but at least there's feet.
Yeah.
Some other comic book.
Oh no! Yeah, no. I'm not. I'm not going to say
there's
that
at least feet, and they're not pointed weird.
Yeah.
Things.
Yeah. No. I still appreciate the effort, but like this one, you can definitely tell he rushed himself on this one. Didn't put as much effort into it as some of the other portraits.
You win some, you lose some. Sometimes you just make crap art. I made crap art in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. So the Mech Runner is interesting because they're basically a pilot as a class. which is kind of cool. Like they focus on transport. Theoretically, I think there's supposed to be like a support class, but um, I don't know. They get a lot of bonuses. Like all of their abilities are um, stuff related to vehicles. They get very little outside of that like extremely narrow niche. So if you need somebody who's really good at piloting, this is the one to take. But in all other situations, they will be subpar. Also, I just want to point out the skill or the ability Tech Redemption because I don't think that word means what he thinks it means. Tech Redemption does not uh, do anything even remotely to redeeming tech. Whatever that would even entail, I'm honestly not sure.
Yeah, it's getting a little fuzzy on some of the details there.
Yeah. Um, you get a Dundra, which is a starting vehicle. Um, my advice to anyone who wants to play this game is you make a party of entirely mech runners, and then collectively sell your stupid Dundras, and then all commit suicide and will all of your like worldly possessions to your actual characters who you then bring in and play the game with much better funds. Because the Dundra isn't even a good vehicle. It's like a truck basically or a van, something like that. It's they're not an exciting class to play, honestly. If they were like a space pilot, that would be cool. And they technically are. Um, Apparently, they're really good at hovercraft piloting. Um, but otherwise, they're just there's not a lot to them beyond that piloting thing. Kind of a missed opportunity, I feel. I feel like this class could have been a much cooler, like, gadget oriented support class, but they just kind of missed the mark.
Yeah.
Like, there's not even much you can say about them. Like, they're just kind of there. And the Merc. Eat this mother. Of course, it's.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I have to say on that. It's just okay.
That's fair. Um,
Just I get it. You're aggressive.
yep. Mercs are actually good at um, dealing damage and taking damage. So if you want to be a tough combat class, be a Merc. They are the best at it. Um, they actually have some like minimal tanking abilities too. So, you know, they're
Neat.
it's it's kind of cool because they're like one of the very few classes that can actually tank. Most of them can't. I also like Sergeant Orc here. That's just
I
kind of a
do
cool.
like playing tanks. Tanks are something that I favor.
They
But
are.
he's a little funky. I like his little seashell that he has on that cord around his neck.
Oh yeah, that's I think an elf ear.
Probably, but I'm just gonna say it's a seashell.
I like that he's apparently been shot in the arm and is bleeding.
But it's also means nothing to him because orc.
Yep.
I really like his one giant shoulder and his one smaller shoulder.
Yeah. Well, it's not that one is smaller than the other. It's just that like this one is erect, and this one is flaccid.
Yeah, his flaccid shoulder is it's less intense. It doesn't feel as threatening to me. You
Yeah.
know.
Um.
What are these bug parts down here
Uh.
sticking out from his foot?
like these right here,
Yeah.
I have no idea. They look like bug parts.
They're probably both.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It could be a knife or something. He's got another gun. It looks like back here.
Yeah, that's definitely another gun. Oh, look at that. I just realized that those Jackie things at his feet, they're supposed to be like bullet impacts, like
Yes.
someone shooting at him.
Yes, they are. It's probably clearer on my version than on yours. But yeah, those are little bullet impact spots. So somebody's
That's
like actively
actually
shooting.
pretty cool. Oh, wait, there's additional gunshot wounds in this guy. If you look at his chest and
yeah.
his beer belly.
Yeah, that's his armor. He's taken a few hits to his armor, which is cool. Like that's.
Okay, yeah.
I like that drawing. I mean, it's not like high quality. I just love the posing, the stance. It looks actiony.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like a lot of the other ones are just like, I'm just gonna stand here. That one looks like he's doing something. Looks actiony, and I'm for it.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I like this portrait. Like the class and the portrait are both good, except for the fact that you only start with a 45 pistol. Also, I do want to point out down here under cyberware, strength enhancement 1 bodywear. That's an ability that does not exist in the game. Like there is no strength enhancement or enhanced attribute or anything like that under cyberware. There's.
I mean, it exists now apparently.
You can get enhanced strength through cyberware, but it's not called anything even remotely like that. And there is no such thing, I don't think, as bodywear. Like, I think what the game is saying is that you get a custom +1 to your strength attribute for being this class, which is kind of pointless because, you're going to use guns. But I really don't know. I'm honestly unsure because that is not referenced anywhere else in the game, and it could mean that it's a +1 to strength. It could mean that if you get cyberware, you get a +1 to strength. It could just be a mistake.
A mistake, yeah.
Yeah, because that's entirely possible. So, moving on.
Hard to say.
What?
Hard to say, honestly.
It really is with this game. The monk. Be fast like wind, strike like steel, move like water, and make your wrath burn as flame. So yeah,
you must
monk.
Be swift as the flowing river.
Yep.
And with the strength of a great typhoon.
Yep. I know what you're referencing. I don't know the lyrics of that
why the hell
song.
is he Gregorian?
I'm glad.
It might actually be all the strength of a roaring fire, but I know that you definitely have to be as mysterious as the dark side of the moon.
Yes, definitely. I'm glad you asked why he's Gregorian. See, because now there's two kinds of monks in history. Like, you have the monks in the Western tradition, which are kind of secluded, like,
They're Friar Tuck, and we all know it.
Yeah, they isolate themselves to devote themselves wholly in their life towards prayer and service to God. Then there's monks in the Eastern sense, which are more the Shaolin tradition of, like, mastering mind and body. In this game, they combine the two. Monks are warriors of the church.
So paladin.
They're clearly they're like the Gregorian style of monk, but then they're skilled in martial arts and have chi powers. So, yeah.
I am... No.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Just no.
And remember that the church is the government. So these guys are government agents as well as being like religious figures and kick-ass kung fu guys.
Okay, I do not like that combination.
And they get
So they're the
armed.
Spanish Inquisition.
What?
So they're the Spanish Inquisition, more or less.
More or less, yeah. Except
With like
with,
a weird Asian take.
yeah, they're the Spanish Inquisition with nunchucks. They get armed combat. They get to choose any melee weapon at +3, which is higher than any other class gets for like starting armed combat. And they get unarmed combat martial arts +3. Why is this important? Because if you have martial arts unarmed combat, you get an extra melee attack, sorry, an extra unarmed attack per round. So they start being able to do like 3 attacks per round, 2 with a weapon and 1 with like just martial arts. Pretty nice.
That is insane.
And they get a chi ability every other level. They get their first ability at second at fourth, blah, 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 blah. Their abilities are forgettable because I forgot them. I do remember that Blood Right, you pick another character, and it can be another player character, and like permanently both of you get a bonus to like body or some shit like that for performing your like blood ritual, which is insanely overpowered.
Yeah, it is. Holy snuggies.
Yeah, monks are pretty great for just everything. Like there's nothing that they're bad at. And Battle Chant, we'll talk about that when we get to skills, but that basically lets them like spend their chi powers like freely like water, because they will just like get them back constantly. So yeah, these guys, they are good. If you want to be a monk, you will do fine. You have to be light or dark, though, because they're a religious class. But you start with 10% spiritual influence, which means nothing. Mudai.
Is spiritual influence, like, is that intended to be something and they just never did anything with it, or?
What spiritual influence does is when your character dies, you roll your spiritual influence, and you got that percent chance that your deity will decide to intervene on your behalf and save you. But it's not really fleshed out much, and the DM is encouraged not to allow it to be abused, whatever that means. So like you can't call on it frequently. It's basically only in emergencies. And it's usually at such a ridiculously low level that you're probably not going to make your spiritual influence check.
So
Like,
wait a second. They're encouraging you to only roll or be allowed to use this ability during an emergency, such as its intended purpose for when you are dying.
yeah, I know, it's great, isn't it? Also, I love it when a
I
game...
think they don't want you to abuse it in the sense that, like, your character is just reckless and constantly lets themselves die.
You are technically allowed to just make a spiritual influence check if you really want to. Like, you can pester your god, like, God really, really could use a fucking Corvette, like, right now. Like, you can technically make spiritual influence checks for that, but...
Pray to your god for a ham sandwich and he gives you a turkey one instead.
Yeah, the DM is strongly encouraged not to allow that kind of shenanigans, but it's not a rule. Also, I love when a game gives me a mechanic and then tells me as the DM not to allow that mechanic.
Yeah. I do kind of like the idea, though, of having a deity that I can constantly bother for dumb things, because I really would. I would only use it for things that are dumb.
Yeah.
I
Like,
would be like calling upon my eldritch overlord for things like sandwiches.
yeah, the DM is encouraged to like slap that shit down, cause we can't have nice things.
I
Moving
really
on.
like the idea of having a very like benevolent deity that pretty much gives me whatever I ask for. But the wink and nod is that I only ever ask for dumb things. So, like, I do get whatever I want, and also my very benevolent deity is not real in touch with, like, whatever my race is and doesn't do a good job. So, I ask for a sandwich, and it's usually just. It might actually be a sandwich, but technically inedible to my species.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. The Mudai. Concentrate on the task. There is your enemy. Destroy him. So Mudai is a hybrid class of like everything. Um, he can do martial arts stuff. He can do magic stuff. He can do fighty stuff. Um, he's all over the place. Uh, he's fine. I mean, he starts with oh, hey, Ice Dragon. We're talking about Chaos 6010 AD, and it's a hell of a thing. Um,
Yeah, it sure is.
he starts with just Energy Sphere and Heal Wounds. It is complicated. Um, and then they get a Chi ability every 4 levels instead of every 2 like the Monk. But, they can do everything. So if you ever want a class that just you can't make a decision on what to do, be a Mudai, because they can do it all.
Be a Mudai. Break the game over your knee.
Yep. But they're worse at everything than a focused character would be. So obviously,
I think this is one of his best drawings, though.
it is a cool drawing. I like the kung fu guy. Except for his feet, which are really fucked up, and he seems to be wearing hammer pants. But other than that,
No, those aren't
I
baggy.
like the hammer pants. And his feet aren't that bad. I kind of get where he's going with it. Like, he's got one foot crossed over, the other one is, like, behind him, but I don't know why he's doing a ballet pose behind him rather than, like, actually keeping the toe forward so he can push off of it.
are you saying that martial artists don't usually go on point?
Um, they might. I honestly believe that if you took ballet, you better at whatever martial art this is. Because I have a ton of respect for ballet dancers and
I mean, that's
equally
fair.
for martial artists, but dang, this guy got confused.
Yep.
Oh, so he switched summer camp.
Yeah.
Summer camps in like mid-July.
Yeah.
Yeah,
from-
he
went from
accidentally
ballet
got
camp
sent
to
to the
martial
wrong
arts
one
camp.
for like a couple weeks.
This is the guy who changed his major in high school, or in college, 5 times and still hasn't
Oh, yeah.
graduated.
I just saw the scale problem between like his torso and his legs, and now I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
But his entire legs are the same height as his torso.
Yep. It's
Oh no!
it's a little messed up, but that's to say something
If
positive.
a little grace for foreshortening, you can kind of like hand wave it. But dang, oh my gosh, I really like his tiny little hand.
I do, to say something positive though. This is a kick-ass sword. I love the sword.
It is a cool sword, yeah. I'm gonna still stand by. I think this is one of his coolest drawings. I really, really, really like this drawing, but the scale is all messed up.
Yeah.
And I love the tiny little hand and the fingerless gloves.
Anyway.
I think it's fantastic.
So that's
this
the
Hot Topic belt.
That's the Mudai. He's a little bit of everything. He's fine. Like, he's not bad at anything, but like, not being focused on something in an RPG is usually a sign that you're like not very good, and he's not focused on anything. Now,
Jack of all, master of none.
I
yes,
again, this is not a dwarf. There is a dwarf race.
yes, there is space
It
dwarf.
is not this. It is not this.
I mean, or it could be for all we know. Like,
You know what? Yeah, it could be.
anyway, moving on. Outlander. You won't need that anymore. I love this portrait.
Was this the Garbage Pail Kid?
I think so. I think he was one of the like late season or late run Garbage Pail Kids. Trash
Talk
mouth.
about like an outdated reference. That was even stretching it for me.
I am loving the sideways ball cap.
Yeah, like I love his like Civil War cap that's sideways like it's a baseball cap.
I like that he clearly grew up on like the streets of New York
And why is he
in
wearing a
space.
diaper?
Oh my god, he is wearing a diaper.
Yes, he is. I wasn't gonna say anything because I was like, listen, that's the lowest hanging fruit I've ever seen. But like they like really went for the enunciation of like the cosmic V there.
Oh god. Still gonna say this guy's cool. He's cool. I like this portrait. So Outlander.
Speaking of hot topic belts, though.
Outlander. He is space pirate? Question mark? Like, this is a guy this is a class that just does not get anything to set it apart from any other class. It's kind of like the Mech Runner, but shitty at it, and kind of shitty at everything else too. Can't do magic, can't do chi. Doesn't really have anything going for him. Like, I really do not have any, like, I don't have any bright spots to point to. Even his, like, capstone abilities, like Weapon Master, Escape Artist, and Quick Dodge, they're all abilities that other classes get, and most of them at lower level. I also want to point out that he gets an ability at 5th level called Repute, and I'm pretty sure that he's using that word wrong.
He probably is, and it's also probably not. Like, I feel like it is a word, but.
Oh, it is. Like,
I think he's looking for, like, reputate.
He's using for, like, he's using it for, like, reputation or something like that. The only time that I've ever seen the word repute used in the last, like, century or two has been in the phrase woman of ill repute, which is only used ironically these days and is, like, ridiculously out of date.
Antiquated? Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I just noticed in starting equipment, 9mm
Giza, yep. That's what they call the 9 mils in this game for some reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start looking at these starting equipment a lot more closely because I bet we've missed some real gems.
You would think that, but no, not really. I think that's the first appearance of the Giza, and every other bit of starting equipment has been very boring.
Look, that's the chain that you couldn't figure out where that equipment went.
Yeah, you're right. There, he's wearing a chain, so I stand corrected. The character packet was right.
The character packet was right this time.
This time, yeah. Also, does he have does his like wrap jacket have zits? Because that's what it looks like.
Those are studs. You know they're metal studs.
He's still wearing it.
God.
Priest. purify the infidels. Holy shit! Like, that's
Wow.
yeah. Does he realize that
That's a not okay statement.
Yeah, especially given the state of global politics for the last what 50 years, 60.
More like
In fairness, if you understand that that's not an okay statement and that's the point, then that's fine. But these are supposed to be player characters.
Not just player characters. Remember, the church
Heroes.
is the government.
Heroes.
Yeah, but the church is the government. These guys are agents of the law. These are cops.
That's not
I want my
okay.
cops to be religiously bound.
Yeah, the cops are religious. Like, the order...
I mean, in fairness, they kind of are.
I mean, the order explicitly controls, like, all police actions. Like, they are the government. It is a theocracy. And this is, like, I've said it before, and I'm confused about how this is portrayed, because, like, almost always in fiction, theocracies are portrayed as horrible because, obvious. But in this game, like, they're portrayed as something that the players should be, like, working with or towards. But also, the theocracy in this game, the government, is fucking terrible and conquered multiple alien planets for no reason other than just greed.
And say things like this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool picture.
That is a really cool picture. That is one of the best ones in the book. I love it. They get ridiculously powerful abilities. If you're evil, you get alternate abilities, but we won't go into it too much here. It's
You mean like, okay, I want to know what evil is supposed to be in this case, because like I see that it says right here they often dabble in necromancy, which is illegal. They're dark priests that are evil and do not serve the law. Okay, so what we're equating here is that the law is good. They're one and the same.
yes.
They're religious. They're the path of light. They're definitely good in all senses, but being against the law or against religion or raising the dead are all considered to be evil.
Yep. And then they must be
Just
purified.
straight up evil.
They must be purified as infidels.
Yeah, cool. That's neat.
Yeah.
And real black and white, and definitely gives way for like complex storytelling.
Yep. And it is actually black and white. Like, literally, light or dark.
Literally black and white.
Yep. And only the priests of light get a weapon permit. That's only the second time that we've seen a weapon permit show up. Healing potions. No other class, to my knowledge, gets healing potions. A fucking mace. Because this is Dungeons and Goddamn Dragons. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
I actually do unironically want a space mace, though.
I mean, a space mace would be cool. This is a regular mace.
But it's in space.
Also, at 12th level, you get the ability to, like, open portals to, like, the astral plane and travel into, like, the afterlife and shit.
Good God. Okay, so I keep forgetting how much magic there is in this, like, hard science fiction game.
I wouldn't call it a hard science fiction game. It's space opera
It wants to be
at
a
best.
hard science fiction game, which is what I'm going with. It wants to be. It really does. It wants to be Sword and Planet.
Yeah.
And Gun.
Yes.
And Future. And Blade Runner. And it wants to be everything.
Yes.
And that's the
yes.
problem
You're
with the
starting
game.
to understand. It wants to be everything.
And that's its dumb.
Oh no, I understood that already, but like it's just crazy that like some of these classes that you can choose, it wants to be everything and does nothing well.
Yeah.
It's not strictly true. There's a few things in here No, it does nothing well. I'm going to stand by that because the things that it does do well are crippled by the things that are done poorly.
Yep. You're really starting to understand what this game is all about.
Oh no, I understood what this game was all about when I played it. You bastard.
Also, you start with the spell Hard Flesh, and I'm just going to stop there.
Wow.
I like his one. I like his one pancake foot and his layered tube socks.
Look, he dressed in a hurry, okay?
His pancake foot and his tube socks are great. They're really intimidating.
Also, he seems to have a lightsaber on his belt.
It's either a lightsaber or like an iPad. Hard to say.
Yeah, hard to say.
I'm gonna go ahead and say though that like this guy would definitely wear Crocs.
Yeah, I could see that.
How do you know he's not wearing them now?
I mean, he might be wearing them underneath the tube socks.
Yeah, he's probably. That's the future of Crocs. It's going to be Crocs with socks. It's going to be socks with Crocs with socks.
Oh,
this is your future. This is the future liberals want.
And frankly, the Ronin.
I'm here for it.
Transfer the money to my usual account. Okay, so talking about the Ronin. The Ronin are corporate agents that are freelance. This is a super cyberpunk themed class. The idea is that like you would get a megacorp to pay you to hack into an opponent corporation's data files and steal their data and sabotage their stuff and do corporate espionage and all that stuff that basically is
what Shadowrun is.
the entirety. Yes, that's what I was getting at. The entirety of Shadowrun. Like this guy right here, he wants to play Shadowrun in Chaos 6010. And there's another class we haven't gotten to yet that also wants to play Shadowrun. And every other class is playing either D&D or fucking Warhammer 40K.
God, that's so painfully accurate so far, actually. This guy, though, he's like the assassin, but better.
He kind of is. I mean, he's not a great assassin, but then again, neither is the assassin. They both kind of suck at it. This guy is slightly better
assassin than the assassin.
He's slightly better because he gets improved weapon, and the assassin doesn't. Improved weapon actually gives you weapon bond. What?
He also gets weapon bond, like the mercenary.
The mercenary gets it, but also the assassin gets weapon bond.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
And whatever Whisper Walk and Blend are.
Blend is stupid. It's basically if you're in a crowd, you can make a like stealth check with like you can pay for a bonus.
Got it.
There's a lot of abilities in this game where it's like you can pay 1 cool point to get like a 1 extra point on a check. And Blend is one of those.
Every time you say cool point, it's so triggering.
Yeah. You can trade CP for an advantage in being stealthy and going unnoticed.
Not even when you say it that way. Just the term cool point is like, God.
I know
it grates so hard.
Yeah, I
like his clown shoes.
It's so bad, and yeah, I love his clown shoes. And I know that he's supposed to be
wearing clown shoes is pretty great.
I know he's supposed to be like the Dejakians or whatever, but it looks like he's wearing a really bad hockey mask.
Oh no! Why would you say that? Why is he so short? Like, I really get the impression that this guy is short.
Yeah.
The Greys are supposed to be super tall.
They are supposed to be super tall, and he does look really short. But look at his arms.
His space chainmail loincloth is pretty great.
I mean, that's a +1 to AC, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or beauty.
yeah, this guy is he's kind of useless, honestly, in most games. But it's because he's playing a completely different game from everybody else.
I
And
mean, I'm upset that his Uzi 6 SMG doesn't have a cool name like the 9 millimeter Giza.
I know a lot of guns, like he did that with the Automag too, where he just renamed it the Automag 5, like the fifth iteration of Automags, I guess.
I just wanna see it have a cool name. Like, how hard is that? How hard is it to come up with dumb space slang for everything in this game? Because you've done it for 15% of it, and I need consistency.
Shaman. We all have a spirit animal that watches over us from the sixth dimension. That is a fucking quote.
Yeah, my spirit animal from the sixth dimension is kind of a creep.
Yeah, that
He
that
tends
checks
to
out.
watch over more than just me.
I kind of like the highly stylized, posterized art style that he went with here. I suspect that he just threw a filter on his art.
Yeah, it is really cool. I do like the World of Warcraft esque like shoulders that it's got going on there.
So, Shaman.
Is it wearing a shirt?
Uh, I don't think he is. I think he's just got one of those like lady loincloth things that flap around, and actually this might even be a lady. They're very curvaceous.
Yes,
I
and that's
can't
probably
even
why it's
tell what's
facing the
going
other
on.
way. It's because it's not technically wearing a shirt.
It could be a femboy.
It
Like
could be. It could be. It's hard to
anyway.
say.
So the shaman. Racist connotations aside, because there are the same racist connotations as the Klansmen. Um,
Oh,
they
good God. They named it the Klansman?
Yeah, you did not notice that?
Oh, no.
Yeah, the one that can take scalps, that's called the Klansman.
I already missed the name. Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Oh my yes. It's bad. Um aside
What?
aside from the unfortunate cultural implications of the shaman, they're pretty good. These are basically a focused green mage. They get heal wounds, which is white, but then they get light and darkness and ignite and douse, which are both green magic.
Oh, they get healing potions too.
I'm sorry.
They also get healing potions.
Oh, you're right. They do. And magic circle components. I don't know why you'd ever use those. Also, I like to believe that he's on the other half of that circle from the demon hunter class. Like the demon hunter is standing right here, like
Uh,
at her back or his back or whatever.
now we only need to find 2/3 more of the circle.
So, abilities wise, these guys get pretty ridiculous. Like summon creatures. You know how like in D&D monster summoning is a spell? It's an ability here. They can just fucking make creatures appear. And also they can open an astral gate like the cleric can, or sorry, the priest. And Stormbringer is even more insanely overpowered.
What
Can
the heck?
it can basically like create like hurricanes and earthquakes and shit. It's insane.
Why would you ever play any other race? I mean, class. Like, why would you play any other class?
I mean, they kind of suck when they start. They don't have any offensive magic except for I think you can use ignite offensively, maybe. And you don't
Just
get
stand in the back for a few sessions.
you don't get any good equipment and very basic skills. So until you get some of Green's offensive magic, which by the way, Green has a bunch of offensive magic, uh, you'll be restricted to doing mostly just effect stuff. But at higher level, yeah, these guys are crazy powerful. They're the druid, and they're the 3.5 D&D druid Godzilla. Technomancer. War is
For the love
inspiration.
of God, would you please hide your taskbar?
What's wrong with my taskbar?
Just hide it. It's driving me nuts.
Okay, hold on. Where's the stupid option to... Taskbar behaviors automatically hide. There.
Thank you. Oh, just your stream just got 30% better. You're welcome.
But nope, I can't brag about all my cool stuff on my taskbar that I don't have.
I do like the Batman chest plate nipples.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this guy. He's wearing some ballerina shoes. It looks like some ballet flats.
This is the guy that went to a convention and bought everything and is wearing it. The Magneto mask. He's got the Batman chest plate from that one movie that we don't want to talk about. He's got a power glove.
He's got a princess dress.
Yep,
oh my God.
and those are definitely slippers from Aladdin.
Tag away from being the guy who got the swag bag, eh?
Yeah. He got the swag bag at the. He's even got a freaking DBZ scouter on.
Ghostbusters kind of thing hanging out around his waist.
Yep. He's got a freaking DBZ scouter on his eye.
Now this is what you call an Uber fan.
Yeah. This guy is an Uber fan of every franchise.
He's the kind of guy who traps you in the bathroom to argue with you on why all the lore you know is wrong and his version is right.
Yep.
Oh, so you like Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
Name every episode.
What did you think about the fight with Bazooka Joe in episode 324? I thought that Frieza should have been able to Kamehameha him.
I know nothing about that show.
You just upset so many people.
I hope so. If you were a DBZ fan, you deserve to be annoyed by that.
Honestly, DBZ fans are annoyed by DBZ. That's part of the territory. You have to kind of be like, yeah, I know, okay, I know.
I just like pissing people off, because then they write angry comments to me, and I get more views. Anyway.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not actually knocking DBZ.
I'm not either, to be honest.
There's definitely parts of DBZ, and you know what parts.
Speaking of, actually not speaking of, so these guys are gray magic users who also have a unique ability where they can have cyberware without it negatively impacting their magic using abilities.
Okay. So they get to do everything.
Right here, Technomancers can drop to a spirit of 7 without it taking any loss to mana. So why that is thrown in there instead of like as an actual ability or something, like, I don't know. But it's true. So they can have cyberware. Cyberware does not help. You should not have cyberware. Cyberware sucks. But gray magic is cool because gray magic has a lot of mind affecting stuff. And mind affecting stuff is really hard to deal with in this game. Now, you'd be better off being a wizard and being a gray magic wizard, because then you get a +3 bonus to all of your gray magic.
Wait a second. I need to know. Scroll down a little. It's got he's got some abilities, or at least a type of thing going on here. Spiritual influence, light, void, and darkness. What's the difference between void and darkness?
Okay, you don't remember from our first episode, so let me read.
Okay, no, I take it back. I don't want to know.
No, you've raised the question, fine. So now I have to explain it.
No,
I promise I'll be. It'll be quick. Light is.
It's so painful.
Light is good guys. Darkness is bad guys. Void is neutrality.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah, that's all.
Also, the 45 Nexus,
Yep. Not the first
neat.
time that's shown up. That's been on a bunch of their lists. We've even pointed it out
But
before.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I've just started paying attention to their starting equipment, and that's what I want to see. I want to see ridiculous weapon future names.
Oh, wait until we get to the actual equipment section. You're gonna love
I need to see a 45 socks, Crocs, socks.
it. Nothing that ridiculous.
You mean amazing?
Tecker,
Yes.
I've calculated the odds of our survival. Looks like we are gonna die. So this guy right here, we
See,
mentioned
that makes
earlier
sense.
with the Ronin that certain classes were playing Shadowrun while other classes were playing D&D or Warhammer. This guy's playing Shadowrun. He's a decker from Shadowrun, like straight up. But I love the fact that he's typing on the keyboard that's floating in midair while also typing on the keyboard that's down on his desk. So he's double keyboarding it like a real pro. I can't decide if I love this picture or hate it. Like it's so weird. Like his hand is tiny, like absolutely tiny, and he's like just kind of squinting at that.
Joggers.
Sorry.
Look at his joggers. He's like Robert. It's Robert sweatpants.
Yep.
With like a rock stick around the bottom.
I'll give you a moment to compose yourself here.
He looks like he's half dressed for diving and
Yep.
half dressed for staying home and watching Netflix.
Yeah, basically.
I also I can't. Every time I look at his face, why is he duck lipped? That's why I've been laughing about the photos.
He's wearing a watch too. Like he's got his freaking like Timex that's good
His
up to
dad's
25
watch.
meters underwater.
Oh my god, and look, he's got a little juice box back there.
Mm-hmm.
This
So
guy, yes, shoot. This guy is ready. Whatever happens, this guy is ready.
He
there's
just
not
needs to call his mom first.
yeah. Yeah, cuz she's got
He's
she's got to
ready.
give him a ride
Yes.
in her Dundra. Friggin' this
It has to be an extended cab Dundra, so that way, you
Yeah.
know, she can pick up him and all of his two sons.
Shoot, mommy, are the pizza bagels done?
2003 Honda Odyssey.
Oh god. So in terms of what they can do, these guys are hyper focused on
Oh, yes.
hacking.
I was gonna say, what can they do besides getting beat up for their lunch money?
Yeah. Besides getting beat up for lunch money, like they're hyper focused on hacking, which is a mini game that is completely unnecessary, and they're the only class that deals with that shit. Like the Ronin can hack, but they can do other things too. These guys, they're all about the hacking.
Wait a second. Is his Cinetrek cyberboard parentheses cyberboard
Yep.
unplugged?
Maybe that's like one of those keyboards that have like a USB on them where you can hook in like a mouse directly to them or something.
No, like at the back edge of it, it looks like the plug is just kind of chilling there.
That
It might
could
be
be.
shading, but
It could be. I mean, like it's probably wireless. It's the future. I love the
God.
gun that's just kind of awkwardly jammed into his belt.
he's ready for anything.
Anyway, there's not much to say
Especially
about
somebody
these.
sneaking up behind him and taking that.
There's not much to say about these guys. Like there's no point to having them unless the entire game is themed around hacking and Shadowrun type escapades, which it's not going to be unless you can convince everybody else that you definitely should play it like that, and also should definitely not just play fucking Shadowrun and be done
I'm
with
gonna
it.
go ahead and point out that this guy is also just caked up.
Oh yeah, absolutely he is. He's got
Like,
layers of makeup on.
no. I was not talking about makeup. I was talking about these enormous childbearing hips.
Oh, oh yeah. I didn't really see it that way, but yeah, he's got a badonkadonk.
Like he is stacked.
Yeah,
That is a butt.
yeah. Okay, now I'm disturbed and I want to move on. Thief, and their quote is "F off."
Really?
That's
Yep.
what I think of when I think of thieves.
Yep.
It should have been yoink
Also,
by now.
this is stop putting weird Photoshop filters on every single female.
I'm not wild about this picture because
I'm not either,
what
and
screams thief about it? Nothing.
nothing, and
Nothing.
also she's very cross-eyed.
Oh my god! She's staring at that one darker braid.
Yeah, yeah, the
She's
one braid
really
that's like
mad
right
that her
there,
hairdresser dyed that one braid.
right there in her face that you just kind of want to like flick to the side for her.
Yes.
Um,
I'm bothered by the fact that like he puts so much detail and effort into these characters, and this one was very clearly, look, boobs.
yep. Yeah, this one was just like slapped together.
See, that's why I don't.
I
like
don't.
this
I don't even know what's going on
nothing,
down here.
Nothing about it screams thief. It looks like she's
In
missing a leg.
fairness, a lot of the proportions on this drawing are actually okay.
They
It's
are,
not perfect,
but
but it's actually better. She's got no neck, and this thigh's a little short. But honestly, overall, it's not. It's okay.
I mean, she's got quite a Johnny Long torso going on here.
And she does have like a whole missing forearm and hand on the forward side that we could see, but
Yeah.
you know.
This is definitely another one where the guy did not spend much time
Oh
on.
shoot, no, I did not look at her eyes first. I looked at that rat tail she's got like right in front of her face first.
So, what can we say about the thief? They're a thief right out of D&D, as you probably guessed from the mage and shit. They get D&D thief skills and D&D thief equipment. So they start with a knife. Not a gun,
It's
a knife. They don't even get armed combat with any guns as one of their secondary skills or anything. Like, they have to buy that if they want skill with guns. Like, they're knife fighters.
Well, that's a rip.
Yeah. And they don't bring anything unique to the table. I mean, everything that the thief can do, the assassin can do. The assassin is actually better than the thief, and that's really a high bar because the assassin sucks a lot. So,
yeah, this is so disappointing. Like this whole page.
yeah.
But like, can we? It's making me sad. Can we move on?
Yeah, we'll move on.
Like,
Oh,
I
did we
want-
say
I want
racist
her hair
classes?
To be better.
Oh.
Because we can see how much they. Oh God, no! This is the other thing that I can only ever imagine when I hear about chaos.
Yeah. I want to point out that there is one depiction of an African American person in this entire book, and it is the class portrait for the thug class.
That's not true.
Well, that's.
That's not true?
The other one, no. The race class for human could
Oh.
potentially be African American.
That's true.
Wait, we could just say black. That's the term now. You're allowed to say black.
Okay. Black. Whatever.
African American. Sorry. The early 2000s really did a number on everyone.
Yeah.
God.
They have an ability called homies.
No.
You
Yup.
used to be able to get those out of like those quarter machines at Kmart.
Yup. Back when Kmart was a thing.
God.
That ages
Mad
us.
connects.
So, surprisingly, yes, actually, shoot, homies are reinforcements. You get to summon reinforcements. It's actually a really good ability, just really, really stupid.
Those poor named.
If you can get past the absolute pants on head stupid way that this class is presented, it's actually surprisingly solid. Beckon Foe gives you some tanking abilities. You can like actually force an opponent to like target you, and you get Blood Right and War Cry, which was a mercenary skill that I think gives you extra attack or defense or something. They're actually pretty beefy combatants, and they're not bad. It's just,
Mechanically
man,
speaking.
this is super racist the way this is presented.
They
And
just want you to hate yourselves while you're playing anything interesting. Got
yeah,
it.
also
Anything
what the
mechanically good, they had to just make unplayable.
yeah,
I would
and
just
what the fuck? What the fuck is happening with that hand that's gripping the shotgun?
Oh, good God.
It doesn't look like a hand at all. It looks like some kind of meaty claw or something.
It looks like a glove just kind of flopped over it.
Yeah.
Okay, that upsets me also because, like, we know this guy can draw hands. Feet?
Yeah.
Hands? Yes.
In your funny name gun collection there, Meph, you can add the 9mm Durham MP.
Yes. Excellent.
And they start with a canteen for some reason.
Wow. I feel like that's got to relate somehow to being drunk.
I'm assuming that he meant a flask. Like
Yeah.
I'm assuming that the author meant a flask.
Which is awful.
Yep. Anyway, we've
God.
lurked on that
We need to-
long enough. Let's
We
move
need to
on.
move on from this one also. It makes me sadder.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that simple name changes would fix it.
When was this made? 2008. Shoot. It was definitely.
In the era of enlightenment.
Yeah, like we knew that this was racist when this was made.
In fairness, we knew this was racist no matter when it was made. It's just that it was socially, culturally considered not acceptable
Yeah.
to be this level of racist at the time that this was made.
Anyway, moving on. The Tracer. I'll find him. This guy's basically a detective. He's kind of like the bounty hunter, and he does get capture, which is the bounty hunter's big, trump card move. Other than that,
He has a really bitchin' hat.
he does. He's got a cool hat and a cool mask, and like a very unfortunate hand.
He's got a really small hand, which he's staring at because he knows that it's problematic. He's like, if it weren't for this hand, I could have been a real cop.
He's like Uncle Jack in Always Sunny.
I could have been an NBA player if it wasn't for this hand.
I will say too that the artists got a real thing for drawing people with big torsos and short legs.
I like that he's running around in socks. I want to see him solving crimes in socks.
Looks like he's wearing sweatpants again too.
I know. It's like these guys like literally just kind of walk into
Oh God,
Walmart
he's an armchair
and just grab
detective.
stuff, and then that's what they go out doing things in.
He's only the third guy too that's actually got a weapon permit on him as starting equipment.
I want to know what a tracer badge is.
It basically like tracers are, like I said, they're detectives. Like they
Oh yeah,
specialize in
okay. So
missing
he's got
people.
like he's got like a private eye license.
Exactly.
And I
And
like the 5 clips of 38 revolver ammo.
yup, yup. I don't even
Mm,
want to get into
that's
how wrong that is.
that's painful.
It really is. They couldn't
Okay.
just specify that you get 30 rounds of ammo. Like it's got to be 5 clips for your revolver.
God. I want to dress like a lot of these characters though. Like like that's kind of the vibe that I end up with by accident sometimes. I'm like I'm cold, so I'm gonna wear this ridiculous jacket and then also my sweatpants and socks.
Yup. The vigilante, they will suffer as I have suffered. So the vigilante is Batman, the class. Uh, Even though it doesn't
I
look
saw
like
something
it.
talk about ghost points.
Uh, what are you saying?
The vigilante must take the character flaw dark past or lost love found in the section on ghost points.
Yes.
Oh shoot! I just realized that there's no way that that is as cool as it sounds.
Nope. That means basically that's the ghost points are from character creation, and they're basically cool points that go away after character creation, so you might as well spend them. And
Good lord, man! Give your characters legs.
I was
and
just going to say this is like the best friend of that hacker guy. They
yep.
they're in Little
God, they
League
hang out.
together.
They definitely hang out.
Um,
They
I do want
practice
to point
making out
out
with each other.
the flaws dark past and lost love are both completely toothless flaws that every character should have anyway because it's just free points. Also, I want to know what the fuck is going on with that knife.
Yeah, I see it like wrapped up around his arm. Is that so every time you swing it, you absolutely will break your wrist?
I think so.
Cool.
Maybe the knife is attacking him. Maybe the knife is the character and like he's just the host.
That would explain a lot of things. I mean, you could tell his wrist is already kind of broken and hanging there from the length of the forearm alone.
Yeah. Oh
I
man.
like his samurai armor that he's got going on.
Yeah. Samurai skirt and then he's wearing like space football pads.
Yeah, and then I don't know, a beauty pageant sash around his shoulders.
Well, he ain't
Um,
winning Mrs. Kimball's third grade Halloween contest. That's for damn sure.
yeah, like he's gonna get sent home early with a note to home saying that he obviously just slapped his costume together at the last minute.
These boots, like I swear to God, I feel like I've seen these exact boots in like a cartoon. I just don't know which one it is.
I couldn't tell you. I do want to point out in his abilities, he gets costume at 5th level.
That explains a lot.
What that does
Oh my God.
is it allows you to specify a particular outfit as your vigilante costume and, you know, like your superhero outfit. And you get bonuses to wearing it permanently. So this is why I say that this guy is Batman, because he is. Like, he has been wronged in the past, as represented by either the dark past or lost love flaw, and he's out for revenge, beating up people and like you know whatever. This is a real gimme of a class where it's like, um, I don't know. I want to make another class, but I don't know what should go into it. So I'm just gonna let you pick your stuff. Like you get armed combat with any weapon. Secondary skills, you just get 6 skill slots to pick whatever. Equipment, you get a baseball bat and a knife. There's nothing to this guy. I mean, costume is kind of neat, honestly. I kind of like the idea, but you get it at 5th level instead of, 1st. And the rest of his abilities are just, they're not that good.
I just, God, I have so many questions, but in particular, God, I don't even know. Oh, his starting equipment, he gets a baseball bat, aka club.
I think that what that...
And specifically a backpack.
Yes.
Because that's not a thing anybody else can have.
No, there's a lot of characters that have had backpacks.
Definitely Mrs. Kimball's 3rd grade class.
The backpack has shown up quite a bit. It was, I think, for the assassin and the bounty hunter, both had backpacks.
Yes, shoot. I like his Predator face future helmet also. It's pretty great.
It is. I think that's the last class. Nope, there's one more. Zone Rat. Just pay me and I'll be on my way. I like the Boba Fett with a shotgun picture. That's kind of cool. Once again, it's awesome. Pixelated to all hell.
Him sinking into quicksand, though, is a questionable choice.
I mean, is he sinking into quicksand, or is the ground exploding under his feet?
I'm going to go with
it could be either. Although, in this one, his proportions are okay.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Yeah, like, it actually looks okay. I wonder if he traced it.
It's entirely possible, but, I mean, the guy can draw, at least pretty decently.
Here's what
I think. You know what? No, we're not gonna give him any flack for that. That's a good picture. That was a good job. Thumbs up.
He tried to find another artist, couldn't, said hell with it, I'll do it myself. Is a decent enough artist to do it, but deadline was coming, so he had to rush a lot of it.
I mean, I will definitely buy that he just rushed a lot of it to get through it.
You see, I rush my drawing because I hate drawing. So I can whip out a drawing in like 20 minutes, but it'll look terrible. But it'll be like, close enough. Because I hate drawing.
Yeah.
Like, I hate drawing now. Like, to the point where if I spend more than a half hour on a drawing, I just want to rip it up and do something else.
The Zone Rat, as far as abilities go, he's another one of those weird classes where he's built for exploration and wilderness survival. And that's not really a thing that you'd expect in a typical campaign of this, I wouldn't think. I've mentioned before that I feel like Chaos 6010 needs to have its content subdivided into different books. And this is one of the reasons why I think so. This guy and the shaman and the absolutely awful clansman, all feel like they belong in a completely different game. Something that's based entirely on wilderness survival and stuff. I feel like you really could do an entire setting expansion for Chaos 6010 that's just wilderness stuff, and you could put these classes in it, and it would streamline your main book tremendously.
And for God's sakes, call them anything else.
Yeah, just change the clansman to, I don't know,
anything.
Tribal or something.
Tracker. Call him a tracker, because that's what he is.
Something.
Hunter?
Wastelander. I don't know.
There's lots of names you can use.
Yeah.
There's so many. There's so many options that isn't that. Infinite options of not that. And that is what was chosen. So many options.
Oh shoot, you triggered the auto mod.
What?
Shoot had said Klansman with a K and triggered the auto mod.
It's with a C. It's spelled with a C and it's Klansman or something. And so it's supposed to be like he's from a tribal clan. And no.
Yeah.
No.
He's got the Zone Rat's got a Defiance S4000, by the way. I knew you'd appreciate that.
I appreciate that.
So then we get into
Yeah.
character class abilities. So, and there's also this power rating thing. And this is absolutely bizarre. Here's how this works. Like a character for levels 1 through 4, if you're picking your own powers, then you only get power 1 abilities. Levels 5 through 9, you get power 2 abilities, or lower, so you can also get power 1 abilities. 10 through 14 is power 3, and so on and so forth. But you may notice that you don't get to pick on these. They just give you these powers. This is for if you're multi-classed, you could end up where you could get an ability like let's find one, like blend, say, that both the vigilante and the tracer get. So if you're a tracer and then you multi-class to vigilante, as your second level as a vigilante, you've already got blend. So then you would take a power 1 ability of your choice instead of blend. If that makes sense.
Seems a
So
little.
what I'm hearing is multi-class always.
Multi-class never, because it sucks. Let me show you how multi-classing works.
Wait, because it sounded like what you were saying is that you can multi-class by having a secondary class, and any time that those two classes match, you can choose any ability.
Yes, but you're only getting part of the explanation for how multi-classing works, and you're assuming that it's awesome based on that. There's additional information that I have to give you that will make you realize that that multi-classing fucking blows.
Okay, fine.
Here's the thing. You get abilities. You get nothing for first level. Every class has 2nd through 12th level laid out for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot multi-class until 13th level.
Ew.
At 13th level, you could pick a power 3 ability or lower of your own choice, or you could multi-class. In which case, you start over getting these abilities again.
What?
Working your way up the ladder for the second class. There is no advantage to doing this whatsoever.
Why would you start over?
Because multi-classing sucks.
That's so bad.
It is incredibly bad. So, here's how multi-classing goes. Once you reach 13th through 30th level, this is probably important, and I don't know why. So, like, this game has literally hundreds of levels of advancement. Potentially. Like, I mean, right here, it goes 90 to 99 and above. You're getting power 13 abilities. But you can only multi-class through 30th level. If you choose this, you have to have all of the skills needed listed here. You get the skills listed here. And then you don't get to choose your own class abilities. You have to take what is given from level 1 to 12 in the new class. When your new class gives you a level of advancement ability that you already own, you must up the rating of that ability, which means, like, if it gives you a +1, it gives you a +2. But only certain abilities can do this. If you cannot do this, then you are allowed to choose an ability according to the character class advancement chart above, which I already explained. Multi-class characters must multi-class at the moment they reach a new level between 13th and 30th. Keep track of the remaining cool points that you own that put you over that level. Example,
I'm sorry, my eyes already glazed over.
I am reading this off for a reason. Example, you choose to multiclass once you hit 20th level at 735 cool points. Your character has 740 max cool points after your last mission. Why does it say max? I don't know. Thus you have 5 cool points remaining. Add those 5 cool points that you are dragging to 16, the amount of cool points it takes to reach second level. This will classify the character as second level in their new class. Therefore, you would write your max cool points down as 735/21, a 20th level blank and a second level blank. Does anyone know what that means? I am seriously asking. This is gibberish to me. Like, why does it say max? Why does it talk about dragging cool points? What does it mean to drag cool points? Like, I don't know. This is so ungodly convoluted. Like, why do you have to bump the second level up so high? Like, and what do you do with, like, does this mean that it doesn't make any sense.
All it does is make your head hurt.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah. You do not get to choose your 20th level character class ability, nor do you get the level advancement rolls of your 20th level yet. Continuing the example, I hope. You gain the rolls as a second level character, which we haven't talked about character level advancement rolls, but this is another reason why.
Make it stop.
You know what? You're right. I'm going to stop. I don't understand how the multi-classing system works. It's stupid. This is the power list. Oh my god, it goes on and on and on. And he lists every single one.
4E feats.
What?
Well, that's just like feats and 4E.
Yeah,
it just
kind
goes
of.
on and on in a broken fashion.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. And not all of these are given to you by a class. Some of these you actually need to, like, some of these you need to take when you're allowed to pick your own. And I'm just scrolling through here. This is Cataclysm. That's not the same one. Okay, never mind. Here's Costume. But oh my god, it goes on. That's a cool picture.
That is pretty cool.
And it goes on and on.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
This is straight out of fucking D&D. What was that? The mongrel looked through the trees with eyes wide open. I don't know. You should probably go check it out, said the human. Go ahead. I got your back.
I mean, you do generally look at things with eyes wide open.
Yeah, it's hard to look at them with eyes closed. Mad connects.
Are you just now noticing Mad Connects? Yeah, I said that earlier. It was a mess.
I'm not, like, this is
monopolized.
Yeah.
You nest on a colony or larger hideout. Wow.
Courtyard in the Imperial City of Atlantis. Sure. By the way, some of the art is not hand-drawn, but is done in, like, some kind of 3D modeling program. It looks like some version of Bryce to me, but I don't know. It doesn't look like Blender.
Oh, look! Nevergate. For 6 magical actions, a spellcaster may open a Nevergate that will drain 2d12 times 100 mana. This gate may take you a great distance, 1 light year per level. Therefore, you may go from one star system to another. Blah, 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 blah. Do not roll a 99% or 100% or you will be destroyed.
Yep. Don't you love it when the teleportations have fucking instant death as a potential, like, a potential downside to them? I don't know what the hell is going on in this picture. Like, I mean, I obviously it's an execution of some sort, but, like, what the hell is with this guy? Like, Why does he
I
have a
want that to
snoot?
be a playable race.
Yeah, I know. Like that should be something you could be. And it keeps going and going and going. And now there's chi abilities.
Good lord. Oh, wow.
Look at that foot.
I love his tree trunk leg. And then his itty bitty little one.
Oh. Anyway,
I also really like the implication that you could kick a guy with in the face with that gun
yeah.
and you'll be fine.
Yep. So chi stuff is
That
split up by
Dragon Ball Z
element.
character is definitely getting kicked hard in the face.
Chi stuff is divided up by element. It's pretty decent. It's like shitty magic. That brings us to the skills section. And I think that's a good place to end it. So
Oh, thank God.
it wasn't that bad.
Oh, God, it was so bad. It was so bad.
There was some pretty outrageous racism. I'm definitely gonna have to put a trigger warning on this video.
Like, I was trying to, like, keep up with things and, like, stay with you on it, and then you read off, like, that just solid novel of nonsense. And I just, all of the energy was sucked out of me.
That's fair from reading rules in a Chaos 6010 book. Um, Seriously, I like in all seriousness, I think I do understand how multiclassing works, but it's really unnecessarily complicated and stupid, and it doesn't benefit you at all. There's no benefit to having a track of abilities that the game picks for you. If you want those abilities, you can just take them anyway.
See,
Like,
that's my problem with it is why multi-class?
yeah,
There's no benefit mechanically or otherwise.
Mm-mm.
So it just
Now,
multi-classing in other games, you get an advantage for doing so.
hypothetically, classes can give you abilities that are a higher power level than that chart earlier would allow you to take. So it is possible that you could end up having abilities that you can't get by just picking them. But the thing is that like you should be, I mean, your first ability is going to be like the level 2 ability for the new class. You're going to be already in like level 14 by the time you're getting that, like as a character level. So I don't think that that's going to come up very often where you're just too low a level to get that one precious power. Like, I don't think that's going to happen often, if at all. There's no real benefit to it. You shouldn't do it. Multiclassing sucks. Skills suck too. And you know, talk about like taking the air out of the room. We're gonna deal with that next time, though. So thank you guys for tuning in and slogging through this horrible, horrible video. We'll be back next time, and
Look, the video was fine. The subject matter was questionable.
yeah, at best. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and until next time, we'll see you.
Bye!